Hey folks, July 22nd, Rotoball Patch Compound, standing at the stop sign patch back there. Let's walk in there and take a look at that fruit. It's the 1592 Cindy Tobeck. All right, got our gate opened up. So plant health, happy with the plant. She's healthy. Main vine looks good. I have no issues with this plant. I've had some squash bugs, no squash vine borers that I've seen, a few cute beetles, but it's really been squash bugs keeping the midichloprid going. A little bit of grass underneath the canopy, that'll be dealt with soon enough. But overall, canopy's pretty solid. A few little rough leaves here and there, and we'll get to those in a second. But let's go check out fruit. Still moist in the ground here too. Yeah, coming out of a nice rain spill. This is the first pretty sunny day we've had in a while. That fan off, fan off. And this is 1592 Cindy, like I said, and she's DAP 35. She's a big girl. Taped her today, no holes, that's cool. Starting to get a lot of cantalouping and stretching, and I think we'll be fine here from the best I can tell. How's she thump? Like an Indian war drum, so she's probably light. Stem side looks good. Little brown spot there, easy cleanup. Fan looks good. I like what I see. I've tugged her once. Got that T-post and it wants to tug her downhill. And I don't want to go downhill, so I'm gonna have to move that T-post from there to there to tug it more straight or even uphill a little bit. Back off on this fruit. Yeah, she's not bad. 317 inches on day 35. That's big fruit. That's big fruit, whether it's pumpkin or squash. Like I said, she's gonna be light, and it's not a huge plant. This is a stop sign patch. This is what Ruby came out of, so I'm not expecting a 2,000 pound fruit out of here. I don't think it can happen. I think I can get 2,000 in inches, but when it comes to the scale, I think that 15 to 1800 is my tops on this old girl. Kick that fan back on. Let's roll down to the main patch. Before we go to the main patch, this fence is hot. And I'm walking the boards, my back's to it. But before we go to the main patch, I said I'd show problems or issues, concerns. So I'm gonna inch around here. Made it safely. So, happy with all this. Like I said, needs weeded, not a problem. But I've had a weird occurrence. Check out the leaf. And those leaves. That one over there. A little bit burnt edges. Look at those guys. Yuck. I had one right here at this node. And I took it off. And I split it early on, about a week and a half ago. It was clean on the inside. So, with the random burn spots here and there on older leaves, or decent leaves, I shouldn't say older, it's not like they're ancient. It just seems to be a trait of this plant thus far. I have it going on another plant. It's happening on my other 1592 Cindy, and I'm not saying that that's a 1592 Cindy thing, but it's what I'm seeing. Does it affect anything? No. Am I happy that it's not vine rot, fusarium, or yuck? Absolutely. So I'm cool with that. A little bit of burn here or there, not a big issue. I'm just tickled that it's not fusarium. All right, I promise main patch. I'm gonna get out of here without getting zapped. So there's frostbite. Everybody always wants to know about that plant. Yeah, nobody wants to know about that plant. It was inside the main patch. I pulled it out here and have done nothing to it except for wished it some luck. It's beautiful. Sprig of mustard's going in there. That's helping fight disease, but it's amazing what these plants can handle. And that plant is just handling sadness. Top of the key of the main patch, all those compounds are up. We've got a CO green. We still have a little naked area here and there, but not much. My goodness. I filled it up. Happy with my plants. We'll start with the 1415 Rick on the scale. Overall plant health, leaves and foliage, everything's pretty solid. I'm happy with that. I give it a 9 out of 10. There's always room for improvement, but for this time of year, I'm pretty tickled. Main vine, stump, dry, no knuckle issues. Real happy there. I do have an issue closer to the fruit itself. We'll get in there in a minute and check it out. And the leaves are tall. My goodness, they're nipple height. Looks like I got a little, somebody's sprouting up from somewhere. I'm about to get in there and find it. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. That's crazy. So the 1592 scale Cindy, the plant health-wise, some of those burnt leaves I talked about with the other one, a little bit right there, some of the older ones, and then some random guys like right in there, way down in there somewhere, but not as bad as the stop sign. Doesn't get as much sun. That's the best I can figure. Nice plant, still good and wet underneath the canopy. We've came out of a rainstorm. So like I said, 9 out of 10. Main vine and stump, oh mercy, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. The stump's amazing, no leaks or any yucks yet. The main vine, we do have some blisters. Nothing bad. Stuff that I've scraped a little bit, haven't even treated, just scraped the surface and letting it have plenty of sun. You can see I've taken out a lot of leaves off of that, and we're pretty naked. This is a big plant, good sized plant, and she's still healthy, so I'm not going to quarrel a whole lot. Let's go look at some fruit. All right, so we're going to enter in the lower gate, which is the gate that I use almost exclusively for, you know, obviously checking fruit and whatnot. The main gate up top is for checking vines and stumps. And I mean, I am kind of full. I like to think, oh yeah, I've got a little bit more space to fill in, but yep, there's my space. And that space is going to be occupied by a secondary and a main from this plant, the 1415 Rick. And Ricky's sitting on the scale there. This plant down here, I'm snaking through slowly as I talk, is another 1415 Rick. She is DAP 34. So tomorrow she turns 35, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to tape her out. We'll look at her here in a second. I can snake through areas. I gotta be careful. I got little certain pathways, and that's the way pumpkins should be. It should be pathways. Get this fan kicked off. Let's look at this fruit. All right, there's the 1415 Rick on the scale. Today's DAP 40 for this gal. She's 317 inches, which is pretty wild. That's the same size as Cindy in the stop sign patch, but she's an absolute barnacle. And you're looking close to this gal, and she's just booger central. Bugger central. I haven't had a fruit so sappy in my entire life. I've had some pretty sappy fruit. It's like, well, how green is she for a green squash? Well, obviously she's crazy green, and she used to be really nice and green. This is just all cantalouping. Just cantalouping. There's no spots of orange or any of that gunk yet. Not to say that couldn't happen. I'm gonna see if we can look at blossom. Hold tight. Oh, in the blossom area. Not bad. Oh, look at those booty cheeks. Oh, booty cheeks. Yeah. And that's a difficult place to get into. You have to jam the phone in there. Just jam it in there. Now the stem is nice, but I do have an area of concern that I have battled. So I will take a moment to strip this down and we'll talk about her. This is how I hook my can fans on, nice and easy. You know, think about that nonsense. It's nice. So there's a little tiny hole right here, and squash vine borer, somebody bored in there and then came out the bottom when he realized, hey, that's not going to be good for me. So I opened it up and cleaned it out. So far so good. We're about 5 days from surgery. I'm not a 100% fan of it. You gotta get what you work with and be happy and be thankful, but it's gonna be tough to get this girl for 100 days just on cantaloping, that nonsense down there. But I'd love to push her. We'll see what happens. Vine management's pretty solid on the secondary. The main, I'm fighting to keep off the fruit, even with this type of a profile. It's just everything I can do to hook to a shepherd's hook back here and try to stretch her up and stretch her out of the way. And every day, come out here if I want to, tighten these down a little bit. Let's see if I can find one. Tighten down. Keep tightening these bad boys, and oh, there it is. Hear them clicks? Yeah, tighten her down. Give myself a little bit more room. Can't do it all at once. Still kissing the fruit. And I don't want to lose that mane because it's a pathway to the rest of the plant. And I like things to flow like they're on a road. All right, let's go to the next fruit. It's gonna make you walk the journey I have to walk, which is rough. And I do this to myself, mainly because I don't have the space, the luxury to grow in 50 acres of a small little spot behind my house to grow as big as I can. Boy, look at there. Somebody needs a little bit more mag in their system. That's a shame. All right, that's enough of that. Don't look at those tomatoes, Ethan. It'll make you sad. Let's get down here to Water Tank Rick, which is also a 1415. And if you're new to watching, welcome. You're gonna see lots of amazing things. Maybe a little bit of sadness, maybe some decent fruit. But if you're a repeat offender, you know that I only have squash this year, green squash. I only have 2 seeds that I'm growing, the 1415 Jolvette and the 1592 Cindy Tobeck. She's tight on that stem. Goodness. What is that, a lizard? Get out of here, lizard. Yeah, oh no, it bit me. All right. Yeah, she thumps like a rick. Gonna be a decent fruit. Blossom in. Very nice. Happy camper there. And overall profile of the fruit. She looks like scale rick, not gonna lie. Nothing but shoulders and a little booty. And that's the way Rick looks like in person if you've ever met him. All right, on to the next fruit. So the next one's the 1415 Rick Jolvette again. And yes, you heard a Rick Jolvette booty joke just a few moments ago. That's all right. It's gonna be funny. Let's sneak into this old girl, set down our beverage, and see if we can pull this fan off. Remove the brick. Yield, brick, faithful servant. Oh, this is a different one. And she's a big girl too. You don't think she's as big as what she is, but she's a pretty good size. This looks a lot like Rick's, what is it, the 1236 Pierpont that he grew last year. 1256, can't remember. Great blossom. Probably my favorite blossom out of the patch. Watch it split on me. The stem, good gravy. Look at that. Yeah, that's a stem. What do you think of that stem, fly? Oh, it's quite the stem we got there. And that looks nice through there. Had an issue early on. Lopped it off, cleaned it up. Can fan for the win. And we're winning. This girl, I don't think there's a cavity inside of her. Last year's Rick looked like this, and it was like, oh boy, is that going to turn green? And it turned green, which is really cool. So I'm counting on this one turning green on me. Probably won't have to move it or do a whole lot with it. Probably one of my earlier fruits to the scale with any luck, as long as the other girls behave. But I'm pleased with her. I don't know her dap. She's an open pollination, which is a true bummer because she's very distinct from all the other fruit. So is the way. All right, last fruit on the scale is the 1592 Cindy. This is the one with a little bit of leaf burn like the other Cindy, but she's the big girl. Not of the patch, but of the Cindy's. I think. I don't know, the other Cindy's kicking booty, but this is a nice one. And let's pull off some sheet here if we can without really screwing things up. And let's just pause. I don't need to pause it. We can wait. Oh, that's a pretty color you got, sweetheart. That's a nice looking fruit. This is probably by far my prettiest fruit, except for, I don't know, stop sign Cindy's quite gorgeous. The stem's just 110%. I've tugged her a little bit to get her where she needs to be. I have no complaints. I'm just super happy. We had something chew around on her early on. Can you believe that? Wasn't there, came back the next day and had a little nest, built a little cocoon where it had been chewing. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I sent that little insect to be home with the Lord, and is no longer an issue to deal with. See if I can step back, get a front on. Yeah, beefcake Cindy. The side shot. That's nice fruit. Oh guys, what is this gal? She's 37, 38, thereabouts on the DAP. So nice fruit. Hoping for a good DAP 40 number, you know, 800 or something like that with any luck. And I think she could possibly give it to me. Other side over. Looks the same as the other side. Green and beautiful. Let's check that stem, or excuse me, that blossom. Wrong side for the stem, Doc. Oh, look at them booty cheeks. Even Cindy got the booty cheeks. That's nice. You see that black spot and you think, oh no, Doc, there's a black spot above your blossom. That is pigmentation. Trust me. I've crawled my little head in the booty cheek hole of this fruit to look at it, to make sure. Just gorgeous. This is the type of fruit that may go the long haul. I mean, it's just so clean. The plant is really nice, a few little minor issues, but this type of fruit is the one that's like, all right, DAP 110, and she's still doing things. I've got scale extensions just in case she falls over the 5 foot, and we can do that. I got 2 scale extensions. Shouldn't need them. Haven't needed them yet, and we've been up to 2,206 pounds on the pumpkin, so yeah, I think we'll be fine with this scale. Just as important, the veg cycle on Big Scale Cindy. We still have a tip going over there. That is a secondary, and I'm going to trace her back around a little bit, try to get a little more life out of her. This right here running beside Rick, Barn Rick, is a secondary, the closest to the actual fruit, right off the fruit, which is nice, and she's healthy. And I don't know how, but I'm going to continue to run her that way for as far as she'll let me run her. And this is Big Cindy's main right through here, and we're going to run her down here and start robbing space from Barn Rick. What do you think of that midnight? Does that sound good to you? Tell me about it. It's covered in cobwebs. She didn't get those from walking into them. Spiders are actually building nests on her because she's so lazy. Standing down next to the barn, looking up. I mean, I'm pretty full. I do have a little tiny space there hugging the fence, and I'm gonna utilize it. Castor bean, look at that castor bean. Goodness gracious, call Guinness Book. We got a Guinness Book castor bean. Unfortunately, Guinness Book probably doesn't recognize castor beans, and we're not in the castor bean business anyway. We're in the pumpkin business normally, and this year we're in the squash business. We're in the tomato business, and we're about ready to go bankrupt. All right, let's walk over here and check out that castor bean and look up here real quick. That's just, what do you think, midnight? I'm losing them, aren't I? I know, I've lost myself. All right, folks, that's this week's video of excitement. You saw my areas of concern, like my big areas of concern. Everybody knows what a blistering knuckle looks like, and they know what one scraped looks like. They're not bad. If they get bad, I'll walk you in there and I'll show you the split. You already saw the split up there on Stop Sign Cindy. And it wasn't even a necessary split. That was a preemptive, hey, do we have stuff going on split. These girls are gonna do work if I can keep them healthy. I'm amazed. Here we are, July 22nd, and knock on wood, I still have 5 fruit from 5 plants, which is just unheard of. I should split 1 or 2 of them, not gonna lie. Just hope it's not the big girls. I want the big girls to make it. I hope it's not Stop Sign Cindy. I don't want any want any fruits to split. You don't get to choose them. But I do know that they happens. And with the heat coming up and all the saturation we've had, you know, I got to be really careful watching my watering patterns and my fertilization patterns. And even with that, you still might have splits. Everybody always asks, well, how splits happen? If I know how they kind of happen is stress on the fruit. Obviously, you got thermo changes in the fruit body and weight gain, and it results in a blossom end split. And no matter what you try to do to mitigate that, just short of being in a perfectly controlled environment, I don't think there's any way around it. So as an outdoor grower, you know, you just try to keep them as healthy and happy as possible and cross your fingers and say, dear Lord, if it needs to go, take it, but please let me have a shot at this one. Guys, thanks for watching as always. I'll see you in the next go around. Doc out.